She's so fine. Hell of her blows my mind. Hell of her lights my day.
I have camera. Hold on. Not too many hands. Not too many hands. Adam? Hold on. Alright, his hands in. Who's gonna come? Who's gonna come? He's spinning. I got it. Here, hold on. Here, double.
Stand by, we're still physical.
Let me go. Stop. Please.
Just relax.
Let me go.
You're not, bro.
Please.
Cheers, go get it. Ernie, you're not going anywhere. So just relax.
Let me go. Please. You're really touching force. Help me! My name's Ernie Serrano. My birthday.
Spin master.
You're on the A. How my teeth?
Right here, where's the big part? This right here.
My name's Ernie Serrano.
You got it? Nope.
Got it? Got it. Let me go. Got it. Stay back since you're moving.
Take your mask off me. Let me go.
John, can you get in the feet, please?
Please. Let me go.
See if they can lock those doors open.
Yeah.
Take them again?
Yeah.
At the top.
4 or 5 times came out early for us. Let me go.
What are you doing?
You just block the people from coming to buy something. They won't go looking. If you try to push people out of the way, they've done it like 4 times to keep them out already. Do they have told? As far as I know, they did, but...
Ernie.
Is he high on meth again?
Ernie. Breathing?
No, buddy.
Is that your delirium? Get seated. Hey, he's not breathing. He's not breathing. Just come down. Keep him on the ground. Drag him out this way all the way, guys. Hey, cut off that mask. Cut off the mask. Okay.
He's not breathing at all?
No.
Okay, let's get the cuffs off.
Ernie.
Get him out of the handcuffs.
Hey, push them all back.
I'll switch over to that, okay? I just want to make sure he's up. Yep. It's violent, so just...
What's good, guys? So today is Tuesday, December the 22nd, 2020. I'm actually out and about running errands, but this news article made me stop what I was doing. The family of a Southern California man who died in police custody says he got the same treatment as George Floyd, which can now be seen on video as authorities investigate. 33-year-old Ernie Serrano died last Tuesday after he was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon, following an incident that required police assistance at a grocery store in Jurupa Valley, which left him bloodied, battered, and ultimately unresponsive. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department released body cam footage as well as witness and surveillance video from that date. And it shows Serrano at a Stater Brothers attempting to check out at the register when for some reason security intervenes and they tussle. The fighting goes on for a few minutes. Reports say the guard tasered him and used pepper spray on him as well. And that's when several sheriff's deputies arrived. In the video, you can see one of the deputies unloads on a stumbling Serrano with his baton, striking him several times in the arm and stomach until eventually the whole squad tackles him and detains him. Body cam video shows Serrano bleeding from his face as deputies attempt to handcuff him while pinning his torso against a countertop. He's screaming for them to let him go as cops try to calm him down. Serrano actually screamed excessive force at one point. They then put a spit mask on him and he quiets down. At some point after that, he lost consciousness. Deputies put him on the floor and tried to resuscitate him. Serrano was later pronounced dead at a local hospital. RCSD held a press conference Monday, saying the department and the DA's office were investigating. They also released a preliminary autopsy report. They say lists his cause of death as acute methamphetamine intoxication, which the sheriff's department says caused a fatal arrhythmia as he struggled with deputies. The sheriff's department also says the autopsy shows contusions on the right arm and stomach consistent with baton strikes. They add there's no sign of asphyxiation or other forms of trauma. Of course, Serrano's fame and their attorney, Humberto Guizar, see things differently. I know damn well they do, because I do too. Let's play this video statement from the sheriff's department.
At 6:11 p.m., we received a call for service at a local grocery store in reference to a man wandering around the parking lot, entering and exiting the store numerous times, and cutting in front of customers in the checkout lines. The caller stated the man appeared to be under the influence of drugs and appeared confused. Approximately 2 hours later, at 8:29 p.m., deputies received another call for service at the same location regarding a male refusing to leave the location. The caller stated a man who appeared to be under the influence of drugs was refusing to leave the store. The call was upgraded to a battery and an assault with a deadly weapon after Mr. Serrano became involved in a physical altercation with security. It was relayed that pepper spray and a taser had been used by security on Mr. Serrano. During the course of the investigation, the security guard told us that during the struggle, Mr. Serrano attempted to remove the security guard's holstered firearm. The security guard then used a taser to gain compliance, but it was not effective. As the struggle continued, the same security guard sprayed Mr. Serrano with pepper spray, but it did not seem to affect him. The struggle between the security guard and Mr. Serrano lasted several minutes prior to the first deputy arriving. Once on scene, deputies found the security guard still struggling with Mr. Serrano. Deputies intervened and attempted to detain him. However, he did not comply with verbal commands. One of the deputies deployed a taser, which briefly incapacitated Mr. Serrano, causing him to fall to the ground. After only a few seconds, Mr. Serrano jumped to his feet and ignored the deputies. As a note, this is where the cell phone video begins. A second deputy then used his baton to strike Mr. Serrano in his arm and leg in order to gain compliance. This was also ineffective. Another deputy then tackled Mr. Serrano, forcing him to the ground. A taser was again used, which allowed deputies to gain control of Mr. Serrano. He was handcuffed with 2 sets of cuffs, allowing less strain on his shoulders and arms. After Mr. Serrano was handcuffed, deputies called for paramedics to treat him for his injuries. While waiting, Mr. Serrano stopped breathing. Medical personnel took over and began CPR. Mr. Serrano was taken to a hospital for medical treatment. Sadly, despite life-saving measures, Mr. Serrano's condition deteriorated and he passed away at the hospital. A preliminary hospital toxicology report shows that Mr. Serrano tested positive for amphetamine, benzodiazepines, and marijuana. Complete toxicology reports will not be available for several weeks. This morning, an autopsy was performed on Mr. Serrano. During the autopsy, several contusions were found on his right arm and lower extremity consistent with baton strikes. There were no broken bones or severe injuries noted. Mr. Serrano had a contusion under his chin and what appeared to be a black eye. At least 2 locations were found indicating a taser strike. There were no other indications of trauma and no signs of asphyxiation. One major finding was that Mr. Serrano's lungs were about twice the size as normal, indicating drug overdose. Preliminary findings, and I repeat preliminary, indicate the cause of death was acute methamphetamine intoxication causing a fatal arrhythmia while struggling with deputies.
So I'm going to end the video on that note. But I just wanted to bring up one small thing in regards to the video with the man, Mr. Serrano. I did hear him spit twice when he was on the counter. And in my opinion, I believe he spit, not out of combativeness or what have you, but I think you saw the injuries to his face where blood was gushing out. I believe it was getting into his mouth. And that would prompt me to spit as well. So I just wanted to make mention of that. I just don't know when this is going to stop. This excessive force thing is really getting out of hand. It's been out of hand a long time. So regardless, I just wanted to bring this video to my channel. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Have a great day.